I had exactly $32 in my bank account when the first of the month hit. Rent was due. Again. And I had no idea how I was going to come up with the rest of it. The total was $1,200, and I had already begged my manager at the diner for extra shifts, tried to sell some of my clothes online, and even considered driving for ride shares, but my old Hyundai had more warning lights than a Christmas tree. My name is Rachel Matthews. I'm 26, living in a small apartment in Fort Worth, Texas. Life hasn't exactly been a parade of lucky breaks. I moved here 3 years ago after my mother passed away, trying to start over, trying to escape the memories that made breathing hard. But starting over is expensive. I had no family to help me, just my waitress job and a heart that always seemed a little heavier than it should be. My landlord, Daniel Walker, was not the type of man you'd expect to go easy on someone. He was in his mid-30s, tall, clean-cut, and ran the place like a tight ship. No exceptions. Rent was due on the 1st, late by the 3rd, eviction notice by the 5th. He wasn't mean, but he was cold, professional, distant. And to be honest, I never really expected him to even remember my name. That morning, I stood outside his office door, wringing my hands like a schoolgirl about to confess something awful. I knocked lightly. The door creaked open, and there he was, wearing a crisp white button-down, sleeves rolled to his elbows, and those eyes that didn't seem to blink. "Rachel," he said, nodding once. "You hear about rent?" I swallowed hard. Yeah, kind of." He leaned back in his chair, motioned for me to sit. I did nervously, hands in my lap, trying not to let my voice shake when I spoke. "I'm short. Like, really short. I know that's not your problem. And I swear I've been trying. Extra shifts, odd jobs, everything. I don't know what else to do." He didn't say anything right away. Just looked at me. Not with judgment, not even with pity. Just studied me, like he was trying to see beyond the excuses. "I don't usually make exceptions," he said finally. "I know," I whispered. "It's okay. I'll figure something out." There was silence. And then, surprisingly, he said, "Come by this weekend. Saturday morning. I've got some work at another property. I could use some help. If you're willing to work it off, we'll figure something out." My heart almost jumped out of my chest. "Seriously?" He nodded. "One day won't cover the whole amount. But it's a start. And maybe we work something out over time." I left his office stunned. That was the first time I saw something in Daniel that wasn't stone or ice. He didn't owe me anything. But he was giving me a chance. And when you have nothing, even a little chance feels like everything. Saturday came. He picked me up early in his pickup, and we drove 20 minutes to a rundown duplex on the other side of town. The place needed serious work. Painting, cleaning, patching holes in the walls. We got to it without much talking. I was scrubbing baseboards while he fixed a leaking pipe in the kitchen. We worked in quiet harmony, breaking only for lunch, which he bought from a taco truck. That day, I learned things about Daniel I never expected. He wasn't just a landlord. He used to be an architect, actually. Designed luxury condos in Austin until the market crashed and took his firm with it. His father had left him a few properties, so he started managing them himself to stay afloat. The coldness I'd seen before wasn't cruelty. It was a man who'd been burned, who stopped expecting kindness from the world. And somehow, in those long hours scrubbing and fixing and sanding, something shifted between us. He started smiling more. I started teasing him about how slow he painted. We were laughing by the end of the day, which felt like something I hadn't done in months. He drove me home and handed me an envelope. "I took a little off your balance," he said. "And I was serious about working something out over time. If you want more days like this, I've got plenty of projects." "Thank you," I said, voice barely above a whisper. "You earned it," he replied. Over the next few weeks, I started helping him on weekends. Cleaning rental units between tenants, painting, even helping stage apartments for new viewings. It wasn't glamorous, but it kept me afloat. And it gave me something else too, time with Daniel. It didn't start out romantic. It was subtle, like a breeze you don't notice until it lifts your hair. He started bringing me coffee, asking about my day. He remembered things I told him, like how I missed my mom's peach cobbler or how I always hummed when I was nervous. And sometimes he'd open up too, about his ex-fiancée who left when his life crashed, or how he felt guilty inheriting property he didn't want while others struggled. We were two broken people trying to hold each other's pieces without cutting ourselves. One rainy Saturday, we were at another unit doing final checks before a new tenant moved in. The power was out, and we were using flashlights. I slipped on a wet tile, and he caught me, hands around my waist, breath close. For a second, everything stopped. Just his face, inches from mine, his heartbeat echoing in my ears. He let go quickly, clearing his throat. "Careful," he mumbled. "Thanks," I replied, cheeks burning. That moment lingered, unspoken, for days. Then one night, after we finished patching drywall in an old unit, he offered to take me to dinner. "Just a thank you," he said. But we both knew it was more. We went to a small Italian place. Candlelight flickered between us. We talked like old friends. No walls, no pretending. At the end of the night, he walked me to my door. And this time, when his hand brushed mine, I didn't pull away. He kissed me. Gently. Hesitantly. Like he was asking a question. And I answered. The next morning, I woke up with a smile that wouldn't leave. But with it came fear. What if I was just a distraction? What if this ruined everything? When I saw him next, he was distant again, avoiding my eyes. I panicked. "If last night was a mistake," I began, but he stopped me. "No," he said. "It wasn't. But I'm your landlord. This is messy. Complicated. I'm not asking for promises," I said. "I just don't want to pretend it didn't happen." He exhaled slowly. "Then let's not pretend." From there, things got real. We started seeing each other more outside of work. It was slow, careful. He never gave me favors on rent. He was clear about keeping things professional in business. But in private, he let me in. He'd hold my hand when we walked down the street. He'd bring me old architecture books he thought I'd like. He met me at the diner during my late shifts, waiting until I finished just to drive me home safely. He wasn't perfect. Neither was I. But we were honest. By the time the third month rolled around, I had nearly paid off all my rent debt through the work we'd done. My hours at the diner had increased, and I was even saving a little. And then life threw another curveball. One of his tenants in a rough neighborhood got evicted for property damage and unpaid rent. Daniel went over to inspect the place, and I offered to come help clean. The place had been trashed. Graffiti, broken windows, even mold in the bathroom. While I was scrubbing the bathtub, Daniel found an envelope under the floorboards, full of cash and photos. The photos were of the previous tenant in some kind of shady dealings. There was enough money to make anyone nervous.